Xingqiu build. So right now I have it basically on my Hu Tao team, which is my main team. That's why his attack's a little bit higher than normal. It's at 1407. So we go over his stats. I have Xingqiu as a healer. So that's why his HP is rather high. It's at 11,210 extra. His attack is at 1407, defense is average, elemental mastery, nothing impressive. His crit rate and his crit damage I don't really focus too much on, mostly because, again, like I said, my main focus on Xingqiu is that he was going to be my healer in case I didn't want to use Barbara, Chi-Chi, or Diona. And he does pretty good. Like, Xingqiu can probably regenerate 4,000 to 5,000 HP per healing. My energy recharge for Xingqiu is at 227.3, so it's really, really high up there. And that is mostly because I have him on Sacrificial Sword, all the way maxed out to 61.3%. And the base attack, it's nothing impressive. We all know basically the side of like using Sacrificial Sword. It's not gonna provide you a lot of attack. Then again, you don't really need it when you're using Xingqiu. It's just kind of like, oh, it's just Xingqiu. He's not going to be your main DPS. I mean, unless you want a main DPS, because you know Xingqiu supremacy. He can be your healer, your sub DPS, your support, and your main DPS. I mean, that's definitely how I use him. Well, I mean, I use him as like my sub, my support, and my healer. So I'm definitely all about that Xingqiu supremacy over here. But yeah, if you look at the artifacts that I have on him, let's start off with the first ones. I have him on, so I have him with a 2-piece Heart of Death and a 2-piece Noblesse Oblige, mostly because I already have Benny on this team that has a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige, so there's no real point on having both him and Benny on a Noblesse Oblige, so I only have him on a 2-piece to basically give him that 20% burst damage input. But yeah, so for the first one, I have him, I focused a lot on artifacts that can give me the most bang for my buck when it came to energy recharge. I have him at 13% on this one, Elemental Mastery. This one basically gave me the most out of my Elemental Mastery, 63. Crit damage is at 14 and my attack is at 4.7. Remember, I didn't really focus on attack when I was building my Xingqiu. So my main thing when I was building my Xingqiu was that I wanted to have a high HP because I wanted to be my healer, because he is just a much... It's not that Barbara or Diona or Chi-Chi aren't good healers, they're great healers, I just didn't want to use them on my team. Because Xingqiu is just so much more usable in comparison to the others. And then you have the Plume. Once again, I looked for one that had energy recharge. This one also happened to have Elemental Mastery, HP, and attack. As you can see, just within these 2 pieces, I already have 28% energy recharge. And then for the HP sounds, again, I also got it at energy recharge, crit damage, elemental mastery, and attack. For my Xingqiu artifacts, I basically was like blessed. I ended up getting everything that I wanted for my Xingqiu specifically. And then I know usually people say to get energy recharge on one of these, however I decided to not do that because just with my Sacrificial Sword and with all my artifacts and their substats, I have 227% recharge on my Xingqiu, so I didn't see it necessary. Because for the goblet, I have him on a Hydra bonus goblet so that when I am using him, he gets a bigger buff whenever I'm using his elemental burst or his ult. And over here, this one gave me 12.8% HP, and then on my I decided to give him crit rate, and it's not fully maxed out. As you can see, I don't have all of them maxed out all the way yet. I still have to work on the Hydra damage and on the crit rate one, mostly because, like I showed you guys earlier, I don't really have a super high crit rate. I didn't really focus on the crit rate, and if I can just balance it out a little bit more, make it like maybe 40 to 80, that 2-to-1 sweet spot. That's basically what I'm going for. But yeah, let me show you.
I never embark on a journey.
He's pretty good when I'm having to fight enemies. Let me see if I can. I don't think there's anybody here though, so let me see. But yeah, no, I'll probably do another one tomorrow, but this one I'll probably do for like Hu Tao. Hu Tao is another one that I was blessed by the artifact gods along with Benny. John Lee is the oddball out that just the artifact gods were just nope, not giving you anything good for him. I've basically had to like put him on like copium artifacts because yeah, no, it's bad. I had him on like 4-star artifacts for the longest time, and then like I started getting good, decent 5-star artifacts for John Lee, and I was like, okay, yeah, and now I'm trying to get like really good 5-star artifacts for John Lee, which has been quite a challenge. If you've seen my past couple of streams, it just doesn't happen. But yeah, look. Let's go up here. So yeah. Usually because of the sacrificial sword, I can do 2 hits. Because I have a C2 in Tao, I don't really have to worry about her stamina going down when I have her skill in effect.
Let me leave you a verse.
Yeah. Like I said, my Xingqiu, I basically focus on him. Can't run from death. HP recovery, just to show you how intense it is. It did 5,000 right there. And on top of that, each one of his little swords does about 2,000 to 3,000. And when they crit, they do way more, and whenever I'm doing his R2, it does on average, non-crits do between 5 and 7, and crits usually do anywhere between 9 and 12,000 damage. So Xingqiu is super OP whenever I am using him. Basically, if I'm using this team of John Lee, Hu Tao, Benny, and Xingqiu, I'm just basically breezing through the game. There's nothing that I can't do. Like Age Daha, I can like one-shot him just by like doing this combo right here, which I know a lot of people don't have access to. But I mean, it really helps if you do. Yeah, just to show like, here's like the difference if I do. See, like, Benny took care of them without like, just by using Benny, and then Xingqiu, I killed all of them. Like that's what usually ends up happening. Like if I just pull a Benny Xingqiu combo, Benny just like Xingqiu and Benny just kill everything when I put them together. Ooh. But yeah, so I know that Sacrificial Sword, not everyone has it, and it's rather difficult to get if you are a free-to-play player. So some of the other swords that you can use, for example, if you were around for the 1.2 event, you can definitely, you can definitely use like Festering Desire. That definitely works with Xingqiu as well. If you are going for an Elemental Mastery type of build for Xingqiu, you can definitely use like the Alley Flash. I haven't really experimented with this sword that much. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, if you don't have Sacrificial Sword, or if you don't have Festering Desire from the 1.2 event, you can definitely use like Skyrider Sword, like that one. It's not the best, but I mean, it definitely helps. That's pretty much it, because after that, you're just down to like Fillet Blade and Cool Steel. So yeah, no, those, if you really want to go for it, like I would say you can use Sack Sword, or you can use Festering Desire, or you can use Skyrider Sword if you're going for an energy recharge build. If you're going for like a Elemental Mastery Xingqiu, which I haven't seen much, but I'm pretty sure that with the recent Elemental Mastery buff, you can definitely try like an Alley Flash, even though it wouldn't be as much. You can do an Iron Sting, or you can try for Flute if you want to make Xingqiu your DPS. But yeah, so that's basically it. My Constellations. My talents for Xingqiu. Again, if you're only going to use them for like sub DPS or support or healer, I only recommend you doing these two. You do not need to use like any of your materials for this, because if you do, it's going to be a waste of money and a waste of materials. So I definitely recommend you doing Rain Cutter and Fatal Rain Screen. Those two will basically be your best friends, and basically your Xingqiu, as you level him up, he's only going to get stronger and stronger. Once you go past 60, he becomes a healer, and then I think this is the first one. Once you pass him 20, he basically gets a 20% Hydro damage bonus, so Xingqiu really becomes a beast after a while, because if you look all the way down here, you can see that his Hydro damage bonus is at 73.7%. So just multiply that by the 1407, and that's why you usually see my Xingqiu
If my calculations are
doing
correct,
anywhere
Berlin
between
Bookhouse is due
5,000
to
and
receive a batch
6,000.
of new rain outlines your fate.
4,000 for non-crit hits. Let's see, it doesn't really do much when it comes to that.
Light it up!
You got Benny for Vaporize, and then John Lee finishes them off with the shield. Oh! A chest. I haven't seen a chest here before. I keep finding chests randomly. I thought I had found one, but I guess I didn't. But yeah. So that's basically my Xingqiu build. If you guys need any other help, or if you want any info on how to build any other characters, please send me a message or just like leave a comment. But yeah, thanks so much everyone. Have a nice night.